What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Red, White, and Bills pregame show, and it's Chiefs week. I'm so very excited for Sunday night, prime time. We're going to go to Arrowhead, 3-1 Buffalo Bills against 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are coming off a win against the Philadelphia Eagles after starting 1-2, and we're coming off a very dominant win against the Houston Texans, 40-0. Put up a nice donut on them, and this game is huge for many different reasons. Number one being, although it's early, if the Chiefs fall to 2-3 and the Buffalo Bills are 4-1, if it comes down to the stretch for the number one seed and we have the tiebreaker on the Kansas City Chiefs, then we'll get the one seed because of that. And like I said, although it's early, that's a huge advantage to have when it comes down to it, because you never know. We both can go on a crazy winning streak, and then it comes down to that one game. And it doesn't seem that way now, but it'll be very important for the future. So I'm just going to dive right in, talk about Kansas City Chiefs defense. It is not looking good. Let's just put it plainly and simple. It can't be more blunt than that. They're ranked 31st in the league. They can't seem to stop the pass. They can't stop the run. They have no answers, even when they have Tyrann Mathieu, even when they have Chris Jones. No matter who they've played so far, granted it's 4 games, they have not had any answers to stop any sort of offense. And that's one thing we'll be talking about when we go to the Bills side. And then let's talk about some of the players. You got Patrick Mahomes, of course. It's an obvious one. I don't really want to mention it because everyone knows that. But of course, you can't forget him. One of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's leading the league in touchdowns with 14 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions. And you go to some of his weapons. You got Travis Kelce, who's one of the best, if not the best, tight ends in the league. Like I said, he ate us apart, and he could do it to anybody. He's just such a big, strong, talented guy. He catches everything. He can extend plays. He's just such a great asset to have on that team. And you got Tyreek Hill. I'm not a big fan of Tyreek Hill for other reasons, but when it comes to football, he's a good football player. He's probably the fastest in the league. And if you're a corner and you're one-on-one with him, he sees that 9 and he'll take that route and he'll beat you every time. So he's another person you really got to be careful with, because he can really extend the game and take it out of reach for you. And you got the second-year running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who in one of the games against us, he ate us up pretty good. Granted, we stopped him in the second game, but at that point it didn't matter because Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. But he's got a really promising career. I like what I've seen from him so far, and he helps them win. He's a fast, strong player. He's a great running back. And then you go to their offensive line. They've had their struggles, of course, but their strong point of the offensive line is their interior. You got Joe Thuney, who was expatriate, was always fantastic for them. Obviously as a Bills fan, I've watched him multiple times, and, he's the guy you always want in your team. He's a leader. He's strong, physical, everything you could ask for from offensive linemen. And you got second-year player Creed Humphrey, the center, who's another guy you got to be careful with, because you got to get pressure from the interior. You got to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and he can really stop a game plan. And here's the thing. The Chiefs have had to score 35-plus points to win these 2 games that they won. And how long is that sustainable for? I mean, when you think about it realistically, and then you start to think how dominant the Bills' defense has been in this past 4 games. What everyone's going to say, oh, well, it's the Texans, it's the Dolphins, it's this, it's that. That doesn't matter. Like I said in the last video, if you can hold a team, these are the best of the best players in the world. If you can hold them to not even scoring a field goal, if you can hold them to 0 points, that says a lot about your defense. And when I look at the Kansas City Chiefs offense, how elite and amazing they are, I just don't see them putting up 35-plus points against this Bills defense right now. Is it possible they can do it? Yeah, of course. But as of right now, I just don't see that happening. I just don't see it as a possibility. And 2 other players you got to watch out for, of course. You got Tyrann Mathieu. He's a ball hawk. He's in the safety position. He likes to hit. He's fast. He's everywhere the ball is. And I know Allen respects him, but so he's just another guy you got to watch out for every play, see where he's at, and try to avoid him. And you got Chris Jones, defensive tackle. He really gave offensive line fits last year. But this year they moved him to defensive end when they lost Frank Clark for a few games. and it just he didn't fit. He hasn't been a great defensive end. He's more of a defensive tackle. But Frank Clark's supposed to be back this week. How much playing time he gets after missing a few games, I don't know. But will we see Chris Jones move back into defensive tackle, or will he be outside again? And then it'll be a nice test for Spencer Brown, the rookie, and a second start. So we'll have to see about that. And for the Bills, I'm going to need them to do the short to mid passes again. I mean, that's part of our bread and butter. You got Cole Beasley, the best slot receiver in the league. You got Emmanuel Sanders. You got Stephon Diggs. These guys can all catch short passes and create long plays. They're some of the best route runners in the league on our team. And that's not a bias. You can ask anybody. We just have some of the best elite route runners in the league. And we got to run the ball. We've been putting up over 100 yards every game with Josh Allen, Zach Moss. I got my man Motor Singletary. Got his autograph right here. He's a great guy, one of my favorite players. But they've been on it. They're a great tandem to have. I don't see one being better than the other. They both bring a lot to this offense, and they're both getting the equal amount of touches has been great. And then, of course, Josh Allen can run whenever he needs to. He creates plays on the ground if you can't find a passing lane, and he's just dangerous like that. So if our running game can keep up with what they've been doing, I think this will be another great game for them. Defensive line. That Chiefs offensive line has struggled a little bit this year, especially on the edges with the tackle position. And it's going to be a big assignment for our rookie pass rusher and Greg Rousseau and our second-year A.J. Epinesa. They need to create pressure. They need to create pressure on Patrick Mahomes. You can't give him any sort of time to create something with Tyreek Hill. You got to give him pressure because we've seen what happened in the Super Bowl. Granted, that was one game. But when pressure was on Patrick Mahomes, it didn't work out too well for him. So if we can emulate to a degree some point of that, I think our defensive line is going to be a big part in this win if we can come out on top. And then you got to look at the linebackers guarding Travis Kelce. Matt Milano, our best linebacker, probably the top 3 linebacker in the NFL. He's questionable for Sunday's game. So if he does play, how healthy is he really going to be? I'm confident if he plays, he's healthy enough, but that's a big ask for him to guard Travis Kelce. Is Edmonds going to help out? How are they going to do it with that? But I'm really confident if Milano plays, he'll be able to guard Kelce with a little bit of help also. And then Trey White and Tyreek Hill, one of the top 3 corners in the league against the fastest guy in the league. That'll be a good matchup to watch out for. I'm confident in Trey. Trey's a very smart corner. He's very physical. He's also nursing a shoulder injury that he's been redshirted in practice, non-contact. So we'll see if that hinders him in his physicality aspect of the game when it comes Sunday. But like I said, with Milano, same thing with Trey. If he's out there, I'm 100% confident that he's going to play to the best of his ability and at the highest level. Now, when I think of a few people that have a big game this week, who need to have a big game this week, number 1 is Stephon Diggs. I know I said this last week. He didn't have the game I predicted, but he still had a monster game, 7 catches for 114 yards. But if you guys remember last year, when the Chiefs beat us in the AFC Championship, there was a picture that floated around the internet of him being on the only one Buffalo Bill on the field, watching them celebrate, watching them hold that trophy up in the air, and watch them make their way to the Super Bowl. And you could just tell how broken down he was about it. I think he's going to come into this game and have his best game of the year. I don't know what his stats are going to be, but I think it's just going to be an absolutely crazy game for him. Maybe, like I said last time, 10, 12 receptions, a couple touchdowns. He's going to have a big day. I can just feel it this time, like I did last time also. And our run game, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, we need you guys to step up again, because if we can't get the run game going, and then we can't get our play action going, and that's part of how we thrive. So we got to start running the ball, get a few yards here, get a few yards there, short passes, play action, and just like last game, the last couple games, it'll work out in our favor heavily. And then, like I said, mentioned before, that defensive line. What started with Tulele, Greg Rousseau, we got our veterans, Jerry Hughes, Mario Addison, you got Harrison Phillips in there, you got Butler in there. These guys need to have a great game. It all starts with them. Just like every game, it starts from the trenches. If they can make pressure on Patrick Mahomes, get a couple sacks, not get him rattled, because he's an elite quarterback. I don't think a sack or a pressure is gonna rattle him too much. But if you can make him uncomfortable, If you could take his reads away, it would be a very hard day for that Kansas City Chiefs offense against the stout Buffalo Bills defense. Well, that's all I got, guys, for tonight. I actually plan on going live Sunday before the game, probably like 10 minutes or so, around 8 o'clock before the game starts. So if you guys want to join, I would love to have all of you in. Answer any questions you have, talk football, talk Bills, talk any team you really want, ask me any questions you want. I'm all for it. I love all the involvement everyone's had in this channel so far. I can't do this without you guys, so I really appreciate everyone. Much love to everybody. Go Bills.